You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
But I feel like I just kind of set the tone of what I'd be like on a podcast where I'm like, when you were like, oh, what should we call you? And then we're doing phonetically. And then I was like, it could be Chris Andrew Ka or ass. I just said ass. That's like the first thing I said on this podcast.
I have tried to think of a clever take on our names. Like with Schmidt and Wells, is there a way to turn that to like Smith and Wesson? But I couldn't come up with a good pun that like sounded natural.
Yeah, we have yet to find our Daniels, our moniker, like everywhere.
Because they're both named Daniels.
Yeah, and
it
so
helps.
Daniels, it's clever.
Hello and welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kirk.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're here with Andrew Schmidt and Chris Wells, co-founders of High Horse Productions. We are going to be talking about Better Off Dead, non-spoilers.
Better Off Dead, non-spoilers. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
This will be the first thing that people hear. The interview you just did. Kirk hates when I break the fourth wall.
You didn't bring that much energy in the interview. Well, what's up with that?
When you get to the interview, not the next segment, but the segment after that, I didn't bring enough energy to the beginning. But I brought hard questions and thoughtful thoughts.
Did you come hard?
I came hard. Do you not like that phrase?
No, we're just doing a throwback. And you always break the fourth wall, so just join in, right?
What do you think of the animation in the beginning of the movie of Better Off Dead? Like, why is there cartoons at the beginning of this movie? There is a correct answer, I feel.
I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about how I first saw this movie when I was a teenager.
What?
Yeah.
How did you come to watch this movie as a teenager?
Because I went through a huge phase as a teenager where I was obsessed with 80s movies and just 80s pop culture in general.
Are you the younger brother or the older brother?
I'm the youngest brother. I'm the youngest of four.
Oh, okay. What's the how much older is the oldest?
The years we were born are 87, 89, 91, then I'm 95. So 8 years between me and my oldest sister.
2 presidential terms.
Correct.
That's how they measure time.
1 Obama is what you called it.
It's like how Stranger Things is across 3 presidential terms.
Oh, yeah.
Or 4, because it started in the Obama era. The Obama.
It's really across 4 presidential terms.
Yeah.
Because, you know, 45 and 47, baby.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
And
do you want to talk about 46? He's dead.
I don't want to talk about dead. I don't want to talk about anything. Anything but Better Off Dead.
About Better Off Dead, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So there's animation at the beginning of this movie, and you were into 80s movies as a young teen.
Yes, because my sister was into John Hughes movies. My brother was into Schwarzenegger, Stallone movies. And I went through the big phase where I was like, oh, I was born in the wrong era. I should have, 80s pop culture. I don't like this modern music. I like 80s one-hit wonders. I was that kid. Like,
sounds pretty irritating.
Yeah. I wasn't like, I outgrew it. But I still love 80s movies. I just wasn't weird about it.
So how did you come to this one for an 80s movie? Were you reading online?
No, just
going through John
Cusack?
Stumbled
upon it on TV. Just my sister just like, hey, a John Cusack teen movie. I like Say Anything and stuff. So she watched it, and I was also in the room. And we were just kind of like, this is kind of weird. And then we saw it in a $5 DVD bin, which is how I watched a lot of my 80s movies.
Yeah.
Picked up, watched the whole thing. And it's funny, it didn't have a huge impact on me. I was just kind of like, weird 80s movie. My sister gave me all her DVDs. My brother gave me all their DVDs because they're both like, we're not movie buffs. We don't care about our physical media. And I'm like, give me everything. So as I was going through all of them, I was like, oh, hey, Better Off Dead. This is a weird movie. And I brought up to you, because you also like 80s movies.
Right, correct.
And we were like, hey, let's watch this sometime. And we watched it, and we were just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think I don't know if it affected me, but so much of it's a sense of humor I found in some of our recent films. Like this sort of surreal non sequiturs.
Oh no.
We do that.
Right.
And again, I don't know if there's necessarily this movie that influenced me, but I think that just is my sense of humor. And watching it again, but anyway, we'll get into it. But as a kid, I didn't really think much of it. I just assumed it was, because we also see him drawing later in the movie. I looked at it as the animated sequence at the beginning are his doodles imagining himself as the knight in shining armor saving his girlfriend.
Who's the monster then?
Whoever the boyfriend is?
So, no, because the boyfriend, the monster gets eaten, the monster eats the boyfriend later. I just saw the monster as general adversity of, I'm always there to save my girlfriend. And it just sort of the weird world in which they live in.
I'm going to come to...
As an adult watching it, I'm like, I don't think I'd be able to come to that conclusion as an adult, because I'm like, This is just weird, and I think it only exists because I've researched a lot about the director on the rewatch this time. And
Savage Steve Holland.
Correct, Savage Steve Holland.
Which, I was just about to say, like, I feel like I can see the influence of this, because we were just, I think before we did a rewatch, Chris mentioned to me, like, I think, I kind of see some influence of this, or at least similarities with the show Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, which is a show that we both grew up and we both loved.
What was it called?
Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. It was a Nickelodeon show. It was the only Nickelodeon sitcom not done by Dan Schneider.
Who's in this movie?
Which we'll get to that.
We will get to it, yes.
Quiet on set, please. Don't talk about the abuse. I actually kind of think he got railroaded, and what that documentary brought out was like, oh, the time period allowed a lot of very unsavory figures.
It didn't allow it. I think people were letting it slide. I don't think people were allowing it, quote unquote.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's been greater awareness that has occurred lately, and greater awareness, more information, always better.
Yeah, of course.
That's why you shouldn't censor things like you want to.
I'm saying censor the Nazis.
Oh,
yeah.
There's an argument about whether or not you should censor this movie because of the suicidal ideation that comes from the movie. And Chris, if you had been a vulnerable teen, like, were people ever mean to you when you were a teen?
But nobody's mean to him in this movie. He just...
People are mean to him
in
this movie.
The bully. I mean,
the ski captain's mean to him.
Exactly.
Because his rival.
Sure. I would argue his father's mean to him too.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And even, the Dan Schneider character, also just... Creepy and also just kind of a jerk to everyone. So
he's mean to him. Well, because life is hard for him.
The point you were going to make is that Savage Steve Holland directed several episodes of Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Right.
And the opening title sequence, or the opening credits, or theme song, has a part of, like, their school lunches being so gross they get off the plate and walk away.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you guys know about the California Raisins when you were kids?
Just vaguely probably through The Simpsons and stuff. Like, I was aware of a general stop motion imagery of them.
I was aware of stop motion through The Simpsons, is what I just heard.
No, I was aware of the California Raisins through The Simpsons. Yes, I was aware of stop motion through, like, Rankin Bass and...
Rankin Bass? What?
Yeah. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all those Christmas specials.
Oh, yes, from the 60s.
Yeah.
And for me, Aardman was my first look at, was my first introduction to stop motion.
Gromit?
Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit. Chicken Run was the first thing I ever saw from them.
Mel Gibson.
Yes, Mel Gibson. and then
he's not in the sequel.
No, that's Zachary Levi. Yeah. Which, again...
Oh, no.
Yeah, I will not elaborate, but...
well, they're breaking them out of concentration camps, so it's kind of,
Wow.
What? Chicken Run is definitely about breaking the chickens out of a concentration camp.
Oh, there's a prison break. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I guess, yeah. Again, that's how I
always saw it. Great Escape.
Yeah, it was the Great Escape, but they're chickens.
Oh, sure, but there's the part, isn't it from Schindler's List where they're bouncing the ball up?
No, that's the Great Escape.
That is the Great Escape.
Wow.
Okay.
There's no moment of levity in Schindler's List.
Wait, the Great Escape is the Steve McQueen one,
Correct.
And then there's Escape from Alcatraz.
That's the Clint Eastwood one.
Yeah, have you seen the Clint Eastwood one?
Not all of it.
All right, okay. Well, in between segments, there's a piece I want to show you.
Okay. Oh, is it when he's sitting on the stoop on the bleachers with the?
It is. So you know about when he's sitting on the bleachers?
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
He had never heard of that, so I showed it to him.
I've never seen the movie ever. Yeah.
As like a non sequitur, I was like, "Watch this," and just so the audience knows, it's Clint Eastwood saying the N word, except he doesn't say N words. Except he doesn't say frickin'.
I didn't say fudge.
Yes. And I was arguing with Kirk. Someone's got to come on and do that movie. I mean, of the right, you know.
Wait, what movie is that?
Escape from Alcatraz, which is different than The Great Escape, which is what Chicken Run's based on. We're talking about stop motion.
It's also different from Cool Hand Luke.
Yes, Cool Hand Luke is.
I thought Cool Hand Luke was the ball bouncing one when I watched Cool Hand Luke and The Great Escape like in the same month in high school once, because I went through my phase where I wanted to watch every iconic film I could get my hands on, especially everything that like I'd seen parodied in pop culture. You know,
I felt that from The Simpsons. I get it,
and I also love the Tom Cruise doing the ball thing and at the beginning of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
That's right.
Which I'm just like, that is I know that's a reference to something. I don't know what, but it's a good reference.
But then they go beyond that and Ghost Protocol with something else. And actually, that's a good example since brought up Mission Impossible. And we're talking about Savage, what's his name?
Steve Holland.
The tonal mismatch of this movie versus the tonal mismatch of The Reckoning Impossibles. The last two Mission Impossibles.
Well,
I still haven't seen the newest one.
Yes, correct.
I hear they go full Kojima, which makes me really
Well,
want to see it.
that was my take.
I never thought of it like that. I've played Metal Gear Solid. I don't think they go far enough.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think they go
okay,
far
maybe
enough on
I
Kojima.
shouldn't. I think I said full Kojima. Definitely doesn't get anywhere near as weird as full Kojima.
Hey,
But,
for the non-nerds, can you explain what you're talking about?
Have you heard of Metal Gear Solid?
Yes.
He's the game director of the Metal Gear Solid franchise.
yes.
And
Isn't he
his
the-
stories are very elaborate. It's got a lot of characters, a lot of backstory.
Is
A
this
lot
the
of-
guy that was going to play Wolverine, but only got the
No.
credit for...
No, he voices Solid Snake. I'm talking about the director of the actual games, Hideo Kojima.
Yes.
Got it. They have a
And-
director for those video games.
Yes.
A little
Yep.
different than...
Because they're very cinematic games, and Metal Gear Solid 4 was kind of like the swan song of the narrative. It wasn't the last game; it was last chronologically that he made. And a lot of the game is just really in-depth, elaborate exposition dumps to the main character, tying the entire franchise together. And it all has to do with sci-fi nonsense and nanomachines. And
I don't like
Nano
that.
machines. Yeah.
it's the kind of thing where you either absolutely love it because you've been eating this franchise to death of every little bit of lore and now it's all coming together, or it's so over your head you're like, I just want to sneak around and fight bad guys.
This sounds like the $2 reference in Hot Tub Time Machine.
I never saw
See how I brought it?
$2.
Never
You
saw
never
it.
saw Hot Tub Time Machine?
I started. I was watching with my parents. I think I was like 14, so that they were warming up to the idea of watching
Like a
R-rated
hot
movies
tub?
with me, and we stopped like 20 minutes in because they found Rob Corddry's character to just be so annoying.
Uh-huh.
Where they're just like, this guy is so irritating.
Yeah.
Like, I think like he said something about shoving something up his ass, and my parents are like, okay, we're not watching this. It wasn't even like because it's too adult or too raunchy for Andrew. It was straight up, they just hated him so much that they're like, I can't stand this guy being on screen for another minute. Like, we're not watching this anymore.
Oh,
Did
wow.
they not watch The Daily Show? They didn't have a relationship with Rob from
Yeah,
there?
no, didn't watch The Daily Show.
Yeah, it's because they're adults. and
Did he
didn't
talk
watch.
about shoving something up his butt
On-
on the Daily
No,
Show?
but I feel like it's kind of
Yeah,
like
well,
it
going
would.
from The Office
Uh-huh.
with Steve Carell to Foxcatcher, and he's so awful in that movie. Have you seen Foxcatcher?
Yeah, I like that. 'cause
No, I like
he
the
was
movie.
somebody else. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
he-
see Steve Carell at all.
I think.
yeah.
I mean, but that, it's a dramatic performance versus a comedic.
I don't believe in that. Just so I put that out there, and it relates to this movie because John Cusack didn't understand the type of performance he was giving until he saw the movie,
Which
and
is so confusing because what did you think the movie was when you saw this, your food get off the plate and walk away?
spoilers. Spoilers.
Is that a spoiler?
How
no.
do you even? Spoil
We already
this
mentioned
movie?
that with the Ned's Declassified.
Yeah.
Sort of. You implied it, yes.
Yeah.
You do raise a good point of like, it is hard to spoil this movie because other than individual jokes, the plot of this movie is exactly what you expect it to be. Like it hits the beats of every 80s teen love triangle comedy that you would think.
Yes. Did your research turn up where, what's his name? The Fonz, Henry Winkler,
Mhm.
reads the script and he's like, this is a hilarious movie. And Savage Steve Holland is like, this is about something real that happened to me.
That wasn't about this movie. That was about his student film before this.
Oh, that's right. My 11-year-old self or something like
Yeah, I
that.
forget what it was called, but that was what it was about. Then he was like, do you have any other awful things that happened to you that are actually hilarious? And then he was like, well, one time I tried to kill myself, but the water pipe that I was hanging on myself broke, and I ended up just in a trash can getting covered in water. That's pretty funny.
I've heard that story, and I didn't realize it was related to this because I also heard his girlfriend broke up with him.
Right.
And
His
it was
girlfriend
based
left
on-
him for the captain of the ski team, and a lot of the beats in this movie are just apparently anecdotes from his life. You know, we watched after watching this, we just looked up a couple behind the scenes facts.
Yeah, like a retrospective.
He was on Butch Hartman's podcast.
Who's Butch Cartman?
Butch
Why hasn't
Hartman.
he come on this show yet?
Butch Hartman is the creator of Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh yeah, because he directed.
Because he directed the
movies.
live-action Fairly Odd Parents TV movies starring Drake Bell.
Wait, there was a live action.
There were 3 live-action Fairly Odd Parents TV movies starring Drake Bell.
The one from Quiet on Set
All
with
right.
Dan
You
Schneider.
You and I are different generations.
Well, Quiet on
Yes,
Set.
but yes,
is
Drake
a
Bell
recent-
is Drake Bell is in Quiet on Set.
Yeah, I know
We
Drake
know him
was
as
like a.
Drake and Josh.
Yes.
Yes, you know him from the what do you call
Amanda
those?
Show and Drake and Josh.
So I watched the Amanda Show, but that's when I aged out. It's
That's
kind
when
of
you
like
aged out.
Lilo and
Sure.
Stitch.
'Cause we both
So
aged out halfway through iCarly.
Yes. That. Yep.
Oh.
So we never watched Sam and Cat or
Correct.
Victorious.
Wasn't
That's
she on School of Rock though?
Miranda
Yes.
Cosgrove. Yes, she was.
Okay, I
She
did
started
not know
School
her
of
name.
Rock, then went on Drake and Josh, then went on iCarly. Because Dan Schneider always did the thing where he took his favorite side character and then he'd give them their own show in the next show.
All right.
So Amanda was on the All That, then Drake and Josh were on the Amanda Show, then Miranda Cosgrove was on Drake. It just kept going.
Like, do you think Dan can help it the way he looks? And like, do you think
Can
that
we
the world
stop
like
bringing him up?
he's
On this-
in the movie?
I
and
don't
he
want-
plays
We'll have
himself.
to touch on him eventually.
Touch
Let's
on him.
keep-
Oh, Crazy, come on.
The Quinn reviews
Yeah.
route of, oh hey,
We don't
we're
talk
not-
about Dan Schneider.
until we do.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. He directed, he eventually landed in a bunch of children's TV shows, the director of this, Savage Steve Holland.
To be
Yeah.
honest, my 3 and 5-year-old
Uh-huh.
very much enjoy this movie.
Mhm.
They have seen the 2 times I have watched it. Once because our co-writer on a feature told us we had to, and I acquired it. And then I had another couple over, and my brother here and I watched it with my wife, and my kids were in the room for the first half. And then the second time I've watched it, my kids were in the AVE with me, and they watched it again. And I was kind of shocked that they wanted to watch the movie. It does kind of make sense, you know.
It has
for
a
kids.
lot of, it's a very cartoony tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Goofy.
think that's why the suicidal jokes don't feel as dark as the reality of that would be, because it takes place in a Looney Tunes world where death isn't real.
Is the suicide a joke, or are the circumstances around it the joke?
I lean towards
think-
the latter.
Yeah, it's all a joke.
Because I think, I mean, the fact that, the director based it off of his own life, for me, it all kind of seems like he is just kind of looking back of like, at a time where, being broken up with or, being rejected, like, was like the end of the world. And, I think a lot of people could relate to, if not attempting, at least having those thoughts of like, oh my gosh, the world is ending.
You
Like,
think it's common for people to have suicidal ideation?
I think to a certain extent,
I
Probably
think
not. No.
No,
It's-
I actually would agree with them. I just wanted to make it
No,
explicit, and I want you to disagree. You and Chris disagree. It's fine.
I'm just going to throw out there, I don't necessarily call it ideation as much as intrusive thoughts. Of
Yes.
like, there's
Intrusive.
that, what
What's
if?
the difference?
Suicidal ideation is the purpose of you wanting to die. You want to kill yourself. You're planning to kill
I thought I
yourself.
was thinking not
Intrusive
having
thoughts
a-
is like
I thought I was thinking about how to do it more than
no, but like intrusive thoughts is like you're over an edge and you hear that
What if I jump?
voice here. What if I jump? That void
How
calls
is
the
that not
void.
suicidal ideation when you
'Cause
look
you're-
out the window
'cause
and
you
go,
just
"What if
think
I
about
jump?"
it and then you just leave. Suicidal ideation, you get thinking about it. I could have jumped.
I do
might
think this is
jump
more an
again
argument of
later, yeah.
semantics. I think this is
Well-
more of an argument of semantics.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
maybe.
I'm interested in why you would say it's an argument to semantics, because I'd say it's pretty objective if you go splat or don't.
Because, okay, how do you define ideation?
It puts the idea in your head that you could kill yourself.
No,
the
it's
movie.
I want to kill
But
myself.
the movie puts it in the audience's head? Or you're saying the movie is...
The movie is portraying it, and with absent the movie portraying it to you, you wouldn't have the idea. Therefore, the movie ideates suicide.
Well, technically, he stops himself almost every time.
Yeah, that's an important
Yeah.
part for me. Every single time he doesn't, he considers it, then decides, no, this is a mistake, then slapstick hijinks ensue
Yeah,
anyway.
like his mom pushing him in the door, and then he's suddenly
Because I think,
yeah.
because I enjoy dark humor to a degree. I think there is an element of acknowledging the elephant in the room that dark humor can provide a sort of catharsis to. But I don't like shock value edgelord humor, where it's just like, I'm going to say what offends everybody because I can and you can't stop me.
Leave Kanye alone.
South Park. I would
That's
call
not
that,
what South Park
that's
does.
No,
South Park.
That is
No,
not what South Park
that is
does.
South
South Park is, whether or not you agree, I do believe South Park is, we're going to do things that we think are funny. We're not going to do things that we think are shocking. And they
Yeah.
happen to have a shocking sense of humor.
yeah.
I mean,
And I think that's why a
Saddam
lot of
Hussein hell. Okay.
I think that's why a lot of South Park imitators fall flat, because they're trying to do that. They're trying to just do the most shocking thing just to get laughs, when it doesn't. With, like you said, with the South Park people, that's just their sense of humor. They find very dark and shocking things funny.
Have you seen Drawn Together from
I've
Comedy
seen
Central?
bits.
I have not.
I bought the entire series off of someone in the local community who was getting rid of their
Mhm.
physical media, just so that I could have it and reference it when I wanted to, and or Clone High. And I'm not saying
Clone High's not too shocking.
Clone High. You got JFK and Cleopatra walking around a high school. I agree that there are copies that aren't as shocking. You're wrong about your not thinking South Park is one of the greatest.
I think South Park is just being offensive to be offensive. But that's a different topic from Bird of Dead.
For sure.
where they're introducing
Alright,
I've
let's go back
actually
right to
had
it.
suicidal tendencies and now I'm portraying it. But there is an argument over whether or not is it ideating for people or is it, what did you call it? Intrusive
Intrusive
thoughts?
thoughts.
Intrusive
yeah.
thoughts.
Everybody has intrusive thoughts.
Because I don't think, obviously everybody has their own story and has their own triggers, you know, and I think it's perfectly understandable if somebody says, I couldn't stand this movie because I struggle with mental health and this movie, you having its sense of humor that it did, gave me a bad vibe. If somebody says that, I completely understand. I completely sympathize.
The customer is always right in matters of taste is the entire phrase.
Sure.
So yes, you are allowed to
Like-
say this is not to my taste.
Yes. And I think that's totally fair. I get sick of the whole, like, oh, you can never make this today talk, because, like, every movie is a product of its own time. Every work of art is a product of its own time. You know, there's movies today you couldn't have made in the 80s. You know, it works both ways.
Such as?
I don't know.
I
Any
them
main...
make Sinners in the 80s. That'd be sweet.
I
I still want to see Sinners 2 in the 80s. So I was just trying to come up with
Sure,
what's the most modern movie that
Sure.
seems of a.
Well, my
Yeah, I would
argument-
have probably said, like, I couldn't think of a comedy off the top of my head, but, like, yeah, like a Get Out, you know, I don't think plays as well in the 80s. I think there's too much modern context
The
around something like
80s.
that.
would have been very prescient for the 80s.
It would have
Sorry.
been
Yeah.
super prescient.
And it's just a matter of, you know, I personally feel we can look back at things that were products of their time and enjoy them as products of their time, acknowledge why maybe movies wouldn't do this today, not say that it is wrong to enjoy this thing that was a product of its time.
Oh, we've had this conversation with relation to the F-bomb in older movies.
The
Not
F-bomb?
fuck.
Oh, the other F-bomb.
Sure.
Oh.
That F-bomb.
I will say, I'm going to throw out there, this
You're
movie...
going to throw an F-bomb. I
No,
hope
no.
not.
This movie
You can say
ages surprisingly well considering its contemporaries.
I agree.
Very little homophobia, very little racism, very little sexism, very little objectification.
There's plenty
bits,
of
there's bits.
gentrification. There is plenty of objectification.
There's a specific moment, but compared to, like, an Animal House or
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds,
Animal House is 9 years prior.
Wait,
to
what
this.
about... Is that
No, it's
spoilers?
not.
Revenge,
Say-
Revenge of the Nerds was a year prior.
Okay,
And
yeah,
that's-
84?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that spoilers to say that he rips off the clothes of that one lady?
Eh.
Isn't that objectifying?
Okay, this is we're plugged in from Focus on the Family
Yeah.
and Dr. James Dobson, who was opposed to interracial marriages. Hey, if you didn't know that, you've been following Focus on the Family.
Oh.
Fuck you.
what?
What? Yeah.
Dr. James Dobson was against interracial marriages,
Not
or
familiar with who that is.
supported
Yeah.
the guy who does Focus on the Family out of Colorado Springs. You ever heard of plugged in reviews for people who like, oh, I don't know if this movie is going to be bad. This shows my conservative Christian upbringing. I apologize. In no way do I actually feel sorry about it. The joke is that they show a woman in her
Uh-huh.
underwear in the movie. I don't
And
think it's
that
a
is
spoiler to say
objectifying.
that.
I think that is objectifying.
It's
Yeah.
objectively people, objectively heterosexual males
Mm.
find versions of the female form to be alluring and arousing.
And therefore objectifying. Yeah.
Well, do you find the intent of that scene to be a moment of male gaze where the audience is supposed to ogle
Uh,
her? Or do you find
I
the
mean,
intent of that
she's
scene
dating
to
the
be...
entire basketball team. Yeah, I think it is supposed to be objectifying. Yeah.
I think you're supposed to feel embarrassed for
Her?
John Cusack because he accidentally did
Wow.
did the most
Like
He did the
ungentleman.
most rude thing he could do unintentionally.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think we had this exact debate when we
Okay.
were watching the movie about its. And I think I made the argument you guys made. Which is,
Uh-huh.
well, compared to things at the time, this is pretty
yeah,
insane.
like
you know?
again, like listen, anytime you write the plot
Mhm.
around a reason for a woman to be in her underwear, sure, you can argue that that's objectification. Absolutely.
But
I do think this movie has again, all I'm claiming, better track record than some of its contemporaries. Is the only
I do
why
think
is it embarrassing for him? Wouldn't it be more embarrassing for her? She got her
because he's the main
clothes-
character.
She got her clothes stripped off. You're taking away her agency then.
Yes,
aren't
you have a
Yeah.
you have a one scene female character who has only purpose in the movie is to provide a gag for the main character.
Therefore, objectifying her. This
well, like
is
at the same time,
example
like,
of
I think you could say
objectifying.
that about a lot of the other side characters in this movie, where their whole purpose is just to be gags.
Yes, and that's what this movie is. It's a series of gags.
Yeah, but what other character is that objectified
The
to that
counter
level of
to
gag?
your,
Okay, go ahead.
they don't have
Uh-huh.
feminists, whatever. And this is four guys talking about what is feminism.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, we have to make that distinction.
But the French girl who has a name that I've retained, not at this moment.
Monique, right? Or Monica?
I think Monique. That's
Monique?
Was Monique?
Monique.
Okay, Monique has an entire plot that is separate from the main character. Now, is she being set up as a love interest? Does she talk to another female character with a name about something other than a relationship?
No, she doesn't even speak English to other people.
She doesn't speak English in Dan Snyder's house because if you were in that house, you would
So it
find
doesn't
better
beat
to not
that
speak
Bechdel
either.
test that you were referring to.
A Bechdel test is one data point. And that was
Yeah.
It's more of a, from my understanding, it was not meant to be like a serious methodological study. It was more just.
Yeah, you ever read the original comic strip that the Bechdel test is based off of?
No.
it's on the Wikipedia, you jerk. You could look it
Oh,
up.
It's about
3 panels.
It's about making a statement of like, boy, isn't it crazy how few movies actually hit this criteria that seems so simple? Which like there is, gosh, I'm not going to deep dive the Bechdel test, but like it's making a point. It's not a checkbox your movie should be required to succeed
it's
in
not.
to prove that it is feminist or anti-feminist.
Well, my argument is that even if the movie passed the Bechdel test, doesn't make it a good movie, doesn't make it a feminist movie at all.
So
But what I'm saying, the original argument here was, is it objectifying? Yes, it is objectifying that woman in that scene.
but it's clear that it's uncouth to the other people in the scene.
It
Whereas
does not praise him for doing it. There are 80s movies in which
counter to that 2006, I think it is, Transformers. I would not show Transformers to my young girls because of how Megan Fox is portrayed in those movies. Whereas I have no problem with my 3 and 5-year-old, I think that's their ages. Watch, I think
I'll have to take
4
that
and
up with your
5.
wife.
Sorry, Tooches. If you're listening to this in the future, my young children watch it because they like live action for some reason, which is weird. But they were engaged and asking questions, and I really like that. And I would show them 2 of the 7 Transformers movies, or excuse me, 3 of the 8 I was including the second animated one.
Transformers 1.
Yes, Transformers 1.
So Bumblebee, Transformers 1, and the
Rise of the
Beasts.
Yeah.
So all the ones without Michael Bay's involvement at all.
Exactly. I am more than comfortable with my daughters watching those because they don't objectify. Like when we talk about what is objectifying women, I don't think the movie. So I would argue the movie has a mostly chivalrous take on how men should interact with women, because how Dan Snyder's character, beyond him being physically not to traditional beauty standards for men. Did I hit all the points there? He's a jerk to her, and his mom's a jerk to her.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be okay if he was sexually attractive anyways, right? It wouldn't be.
And that's what the bully covers.
Based on
the bully's
behavior.
also, and then you get both sides of the spectrum because you also get the bully. The bully is hitting on the French girl, and then she opens a shaken up Coke bottle in his face. So it's saying either way that behavior is incorrect.
Man, I'm not sure if it's shooken or shaken, but because my
that's
kids,
a fun
I'm like
part,
very
yeah.
apt to correct them, like, oh, but I'm actually genuinely not sure. Sorry, what were you gonna say, my brother?
No, I think we're gonna wrap up this non-spoiler segment and let's dive into the spoilers. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.